When it comes to looks maxing and body game, I'm going to be talking about the 5 things to focus on after you improve your looks and you become more of a handsome and attractive man. Because improving your facial aesthetics, dialing in your physique, and just becoming the best looking version of yourself is just the first step, man. Women are attracted to good looking men. There's going to be a lot of people who try to deny that. It's a cope. It's a cope. Women are attracted to physically good looking men. However, with that being said, once you achieve that level to where now you can start attracting women to you based on your looks, now we need to focus on other aspects of our life that require more attention and that will actually make us more successful, not just with women, but in general as overall successful men, which is exactly what this video is going to be about. So with that being said, I have 5 things I'm going to be touching on today that I would encourage all of you men to focus on so that you can not only be the most handsome, attractive version of yourself, but you can become the most successful version of yourself and overall just have a higher quality of life. Now, before we do hop in the video, if you want extra help when it comes to leveling up your looks, becoming the most handsome and attractive version of yourself, and you want to be able to become a man that can start attracting women to him on autopilot consistently, predictably, and reliably, then I would highly consider you checking out my free IAB training that goes into depth when it comes to all this stuff. I literally reveal all my secrets, my strategies, and my frameworks that have not only helped me do this as far as leveling up my looks and being able to attract women to me, but other men as well. So definitely check out that free training. I will have a link down below in the description and the pinned comment. Check it out after this video. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's hop into these 5 things. So number 1, man, update your internal software. So I made a video about this a couple of days ago, but once you update the external, so your looks, your body, your fashion, right? You update everything about you externally. You want to make sure that you're updating your internal software as well, man. The trap that most men will run into is that they will damn near become a new person on the outside because they're leveling up their looks. They are looks maxing. They're dialing in their physique and practicing body games. So yeah, now they're starting to attract women to them based on their appearance. Now men are starting to respect them more. They're just overall being treated by people better. However, the problem is that they're not a new person on the inside. The person on the inside is still their older self with their older beliefs, older habits, low self-esteem, low confidence that isn't aligned and congruent with what's on the outside. So this comes back to your self-image. If this is you right now, if you feel this way, it's because even though you've improved yourself physically, you haven't improved yourself internally in the sense of having a updated and a more positive self-image that serves you and that will allow you to be successful, that is congruent with the new updated version of you, at least the updated version of you physically, right? And your self-image is just simply how you view yourself, how you conceptualize yourself. That's basically what your self-image is. So my suggestion for you men watching this is that make sure that you are just as handsome on the outside as you are on the inside. Right? And I know I have a lot of videos about looks maxing and body game on this channel, but the reason why I make a lot of these videos is because a lot of men aren't able to showcase their personality, their social skills. They're not able to be positioned in the best way to showcase the value that they have, because a lot of women, when it comes to dating, are passing up on them because they don't meet their physical attraction threshold. Maybe men aren't really trying to network with them or be friends with them because maybe they don't respect them, or they don't look like a man that is cool enough to kick it with or network with, whatever, right? I know that sounds shallow, but that's kind of the world that we live in, right? So I do make videos about looks maxing and body games so that you can become the most handsome, attractive version of yourself. But the mindset, the inner work is just as important, if not more important, because once you have the looks, it's like, okay, now what? So that's why I'm going to be talking a lot about mindset and internal work, or as some people call it, shadow work. So the thing is, at the end of the day, you want to make sure that your external and your inner self-image, the way that you view yourself, your self-esteem, your confidence, that they're congruent and aligned with each other. So what I would suggest that you can start doing to make this shift with your self-image to align with what you have going on the outside. Like, people will think that you're a confident man just because you look good. Like, you'll have women that will tell you that. You'll have men that will tell you that too, that you just look like a confident man, that, you're that dude, or that you're good looking, but you might struggle with feeling that way about yourself on the inside. And that's just because your older self is still in there and you haven't updated your inner self. You haven't updated your self-image, right? So what I would suggest that you do is start creating what I call an evidence board, or a list of evidence as to why you're no longer the old you, not just physically, but mentally, internally, from a self-image perspective. So just to give you an example, for me personally, I used to be skinny, all right? I used to be skinny, weak as hell. I used to be addicted to prawn or dirty websites, as well as I had a very bad video game addiction. I used to play Call of Duty, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 2, COD 4, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, quite a bit. I used to play the Naruto generation fighting games. I absolutely love those. I played the Arkham games, Assassin's Creed. I'm trying to think what other games. NBA 2K. I used to be very addicted to video games. I was also incapable of defending myself. So this could be an example of me having a negative self-image of myself. Now, in the present moment, as far as at least the external physical updates that I've made to myself is that now I am lean with muscular proportion, and I just have an overall lean and muscular body. I'm no longer addicted to prawn or video games, and I know how to fight. I know how to defend myself. So that would be an example of a positive self-image. Those are going to be things that I write out on my evidence board or my list of evidence to prove to myself and reaffirm to myself that I'm no longer the old version of me. I should no longer view myself in a negative light and have a negative self-image because I am a different person. I am a new person. I'm no longer that old person that I still view myself as if you're someone that has a negative self-image, if that makes sense. Like I said, from there, write down factual evidence to support why your physical looks, what you've done, your accomplishments even, are congruent with a positive self-image that you have of yourself, or the positive self-image that you should have for yourself. Because as you look at your evidence board, and your evidence board can just literally be a list of accomplishments, and you can even add pictures to them, like how people have vision boards. You can do the same, use the same concept, but have an evidence board. So let me give you an example of that. Like I said, I know how to fight. So what would be an example of evidence to back that claim up? Well, I have a picture of me and my coach when he handed me my blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I could literally make a digital evidence board inside Notion, which is the software I use for these videos. I can literally have that picture pulled up and write down the dates that I got my blue belt, which was December 4th, 2022 on Jay-Z's birthday. But I could have that picture pulled up and I can constantly look at that every single day. And that will reaffirm to me that I am a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and that I know how to defend myself. That's an accomplishment. That is a part of what I've accomplished and what I've updated about myself physically. This could be as little as you getting compliments from women about how you look, right? And that you are a different man, that you've leveled up your looks. You know what I'm saying? It really could be anything. The whole basis of this is that you have evidence that supports that you are the man that you've been wanting to become, and you finally are that man, or that you are in the process of becoming the man that you've always wanted to be, the way that you view yourself. But at the end of the day, you want to have a positive self-image. And again, you want to make sure that you're updating your internal software along with your external hardware. They have to be congruent. They have to be aligned. And like I said, this is just going to reaffirm and remind you that you are who you want to be. If you've achieved all your goals and you are the man of your dreams, as I say in my videos, that if you've reached the point where you have finally become the man of your dreams, aka the man that you've always dreamed of becoming ever since you were a kid, then awesome. If you're not there yet, that's cool. Use these evidence, any list of accomplishments as far as how people treated you, things that you've done with your body, being able to lose a bunch of body fat and gain lean muscle mass, or being able to bulk up and gain lean muscle mass, get stronger. You know how to fight. You got promoted in jiu-jitsu. You won your first fighting competition in Muay Thai. Whatever it is, man, you were able to land your first date with a girl who was attractive and she was really into you. Whatever these lists of evidence and accomplishments are, write those things down and look at those every single day. Whether this is an evidence board with pictures and factual evidence and accomplishments that you are who, again, you either wanted to be this whole entire time and you've achieved that, or you are in the process of becoming that man. But either way, you are making progress. All this is just to reaffirm to you and showcase to you that you are no longer that old negative self-image that you either once had or still have, even though you've updated your external hardware, and that you are now a completely different person on the outside and the inside. This is how you're going to be able to increase your self-esteem, your confidence, and start to rewire your brain and your mindset to no longer view yourself as the older version of you. And if you want to learn more about self-image and improving your confidence, your self-esteem, then I would highly suggest that you pick up the book Psycho Cybernetics. It's definitely one of the best, if not the best book I've ever read in my life. I put a lot of my one-to-one clients onto this book, and it's been helping them out quite a bit. And I'll definitely be talking more about this stuff on this channel, so stay tuned for that. But that's the first thing, man, is update your internal software. So moving on to number 2, learn how to fight. So this is another topic that I'm going to be talking about quite a bit on this channel because I'm very passionate about martial arts. And I truly believe that every man, if he truly wants to be a masculine man, I believe that you should learn how to fight, or at least be willing to deal with another man if they ever decide to physically confront you, and you have no choice but to defend yourself against that man in a physical confrontation. If you're left with no choice having to throw hands with somebody, then you should be at least willing to take on that challenge, right? To not shy away, but preferably you know how to defend yourself. And of course, if you can diffuse a situation and talk your way out of it, which I would highly suggest that you do, don't go looking for fights. Don't try to be a tough guy. Don't try to be John Wick and try to act like this is a movie and stuff like that, because this is for real. I believe every man should learn how to fight and defend himself. I think this is a prerequisite, in my opinion, to be a masculine man. I truly believe that. I truly do. And especially as a handsome man, what you're going to find is that as you guys level up your looks, or if you have looks max, you've dialed in your physique and you are considered a handsome man based on how women are treating you, based on how men respect you and want to be around you because they know that you get women and all this stuff, or they're inspired by you. And just overall, you're seeing that you're getting treated better by people. What you'll find is that as you level up your looks, man, you're going to have dudes that will be jealous of you. You'll have dudes that want to be friends with you and kick it with you, but you're going to have dudes that are going to be jealous of you because they know that you can get women and that they can't, and they're going to try to test you because they're going to think that you're soft and feminine. If you actually have the combat skills, but more so the mindset and the demeanor to let them know without saying anything, just based on how you compose yourself, your body language, the look in your eyes, you can let them know like you're not anyone to play with. Okay, yeah, you may be a good looking man, but that doesn't mean you're going to be soft and back down from them or get pushed around just because of it, just because you may be a good looking man. This is the art of war, right? The art of war by Sun Tzu. When strong appear weak, when weak appear strong. That's pretty much what this is right here, as far as men thinking you're soft and incapable of defending yourself because you may be a good looking man. But if you are trained in combat and you don't shy away from physical confrontation, and you know how to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations like a physical confrontation where there's adrenaline going, there may be a little bit of anxiety and fear, but you've been in those positions so many times because you know how to fight. You've sparred, right? You've been hit in the face. You've had your limbs bent in ways that they're not supposed to. You've had people damn near choke you out with a rear naked choke or a head and arm choke, whatever, and you've tapped to it, right? That's what you do in jiu-jitsu. That's a submission right there. You've been in these situations before, so you know how to compose yourself. You know how to think. You know how to act. And again, I'm talking in the context as if you have no choice but to defend yourself physically, but avoid fights. Try to diffuse fights if you can, because they're not anything to play with when it comes to real life. But I will say that aside from dudes that are going to try to test you, or dudes that may get physically confrontation with you because they're just jealous of you, they're insecure, it's not going to happen a whole bunch, but it can happen. So it's just best to be prepared for those things in case they do arise. But aside from those things, man, it's just nice to have the confidence to know that you can protect yourself and a loved one. And especially if you're on a date with a girl, man, I'm going to tell you what, it's dope when you are on a date with a nice, attractive girl who's sweet, feminine, kind. And it's just dope when you can sit back and think to yourself, man, like, it's dope that I'm a dope looking dude. I'm well dressed. I smell good. I have this attractive girl with me. And if something will ever pop off, I'm pretty confident that I will be able to defend myself and her. I don't know. It has that level of James Bond, Bruce Wayne, Nightwing vibe to it when I think about that stuff. Because I am a comic book nerd at the same point, man. So I think about stuff like that. But when you know how to fight too, man, you know how to fight and you can defend yourself, and you're constantly sparring every week, you've been put in challenging situations where you've had to defend yourself in the sense of a sparring match, right? Where you've been able to showcase your skills and you can get busy, right? You can get busy. You can piece people up. You'll get pieced up too. You'll get pieced up more than you can piece people up, whether that's in Muay Thai, boxing, jiu-jitsu, judo, wrestling, MMA, whatever. But it's just dope to know that you are a capable man at the end of the day. And I will tell you that learning how to fight will teach you how to confront your fears, face your insecurities, and become comfortable being in uncomfortable situations. And I will also say that you will be humbled. You'll be humbled every day by fighters who are leaps and bounds better than you. However, whether or not you're just getting started with martial arts or you've been doing martial arts for quite a bit, this isn't something to be discouraged by, because the skill sets of the fighters that you're going to spar with that are leaps and bounds ahead of you, what's dope about them is that they are physical representations of what you could become in the future. They give you a glimpse into what you can achieve and the type of skills that you can acquire and that you are capable of learning if you so choose to stick with the martial art that you are currently in or the martial arts that you are currently taking right now. And I also love about martial arts is that even though you'll learn how to fight and you'll be able to acquire a good amount of knowledge and skill over time, especially if you've been doing martial arts for a very long time, you're never going to know enough information, which puts you in a mindset of being a student, and you can apply all the lessons, all the philosophical lessons and teachings that you will learn from martial arts, physically and mentally, all the lessons that you gain from martial arts and learning how to fight. What's dope is that you can take all those lessons and correlate them with other aspects of your life. You can use what you learn in martial arts and how to fight to problem solve other aspects of your life that need problem solving, or give you more insight and new perspectives in different aspects of your life as well. It's like you're unlocking a portal to new information and abilities to problem solve by taking what you learn from martial arts and applying it to different aspects of your life. I don't know, that's how I think. But what I also love about martial arts too is that you'll learn that you have the ability to build yourself up and improve as a man, and that you can transform yourself. So I will say this, one of the most beautiful things I've been able to experience since starting Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu 2.5 years ago is that seeing people who are brand new and being able to see their progress after a few months, 6 months, even a year, and being able to have witnessed their journey from day one to where they're at now and the amount of progress that they've made, that's one of the dopest experiences that I've ever had and had the pleasure of witnessing. And I've had coaches and people tell me how I've personally improved in my journey with Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu. And it's not that I don't believe them, but it's hard for me to see my progress. And I think a lot of people can relate to this. It's hard to see your own progress when you're just simply not looking at your progress or your journey to improving, whether it's in martial arts or anything in life, since you're not able to see it from someone else's point of view, since you're not viewing it from a third person point of view, it's hard for you to be able to take a step back and see your progress or witness you progressing, right, in real life time. But me seeing other people progress in their journey with martial arts has not only been one of the dopest experiences that I've been able to witness, but it inspires me more. It affirms to me that I'm improving, that other people can see that improvement within myself as I can see that with other people, which just goes back and it solidifies that we have the ability, we have the control to build ourselves up. We can become the people that we want to become. We can improve ourselves. We can change our situations, even if it's going to be scary, even if there's going to be fear, even if there's going to be doubts, even if there's going to be anxiety, even if there's just going to be uncomfortable situations. Despite of all those things, we can still come out on top and be the men, the people that we want to be and improve our lives. And you can take that mindset and apply it in every aspect of your life, man. But learning how to fight is definitely going to be an essential thing that I would encourage all of you men to focus on. And I just want to take a second to thank all of you guys. Number one, I think this is my first video since we hit 3,000 subs. So thank you to all my Titans, all my supporters for subscribing to this channel, watching these videos. I really appreciate it. I don't take this shit lightly either, man. I really don't. I see your guys' comments. I get a pretty good amount of positive and supportive feedback, and I couldn't be more thankful and grateful for all of you guys. Really, thank you. And I've had a lot of men that told me that they were inspired by me to start martial arts, and man, you guys don't understand. Something as simple as you starting martial arts and taking what I'm saying from these videos and actually implementing it in your life to improve yourself is one of the, I'm not saying this to be corny or to be soft, and I'm not lying when I say this, but it's like one of the most humbling and honorable things to hear. Like, I'm honored to hear that you guys were inspired to pick up something like a martial art because you watched my videos. It really means a lot. And the fact that you're implementing things based on the free value that I'm providing, or at least I'm intentionally, the goal is to provide you guys value. The fact that you guys are bettering yourselves and taking up martial arts, man, because you've watched a video of mine, that's one of the most amazing things I've really heard and experienced. So thank you guys so much for that. I just want to take my time to show you guys gratitude, and I don't take your support lightly. So thank you guys. I love you all. Thank you so much for that. So that's the second thing I would focus on, man, after you leveled up your looks. And honestly, you should be doing this even if you haven't looks maxed yet, or even if you're just about to start your looks maxing journey, whatever. Either way, I believe all men should be taking up combat sports, learning how to fight. It really doesn't matter necessarily what martial art you do. I would suggest either boxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, wrestling, MMA, etc. As long as you find a martial art that you like, that you have interest in, that you can stick with and be consistent with, and it can allow you to practically defend yourself, that's all that matters in my opinion, man. So that's the second thing, man. Learn how to fight. Now, moving on to number 3, focus on making more money, man. So dedicate a good amount of your time to making more money. And the reason why you want to focus on making more money is that it's going to just provide you more of an abundance in your life. It's just going to allow you to enhance and further the quality of your life, which all of you men deserve to have if you put in the work. So focus on leveling up in your career, man. If you have a career, if you work a 9 to 5, focus on leveling up in your career. Take some time in your life to where you have a season or seasons where you're more so just focused on making money outside of, okay, you dialed in your physical presentation, your looks, your fashion, your body, all that stuff. Okay, dope. What other aspects do we need to tap into? Okay, you're not making as much money as you would like to make. Okay, let's take a couple of seasons and let's dedicate most of our time, effort, and energy into making more money. And even having seasons in your life where maybe you have a season where your looks maxing, you have a season where you're dialing in your physique, you have a season or seasons where you're really just trying to get the best that you can be in a martial art. We all have different seasons where we really put a lot of our time, effort, and energy into a specific goal or just a specific skill that we want to acquire and develop. There's seasons for everything in life, but if you feel like you're in a position where you need to make more money, or you're not making the amount of money that you know that you could make, then let's dial our focus, our time, effort, and energy, and let's dedicate the next season or seasons to making more money, right? Work your ass off in your job. Try to figure out, what do you need to do to get that next job promotion so that you can get a pay raise? What do you need to do to outbeat everybody else so that you can continue to level up and rise in your career? If you're wanting to start an online business or an online side hustle, what I would suggest that you do, if you don't know where to start, this is just what I did. Some people feel way about it, but it is what it is. I'm just going to tell you what I've done. Look into investing in courses, masterminds, and or coaching to acquire the knowledge and the skills and ultimately the guidance that you need to be financially successful when it comes to starting that business. Because a lot of the stuff that requires of you to be successful in an online business, you're not going to know. More than likely, you're not going to know or not know enough about. It's not taught in schools. It's not really taught on YouTube videos and stuff like that. Like, the real stuff that's going to allow you to truly make money, it's going to be behind a paywall. That's just, it is what it is. And by and large, it deserves to be, because a lot of those people had to invest money themselves to learn the things that they're passing on to you. They have had to learn it through trial and error, through data collection, all that stuff. So you will more than likely find success in investing into online courses, coaching programs, and coaches that are reputable, that can help you build an online business. That way, you're not having to spend a whole bunch of time, more importantly, and lose out on money trying to figure things out on your own versus investing with someone that actually has done what you're trying to do if you start an online business and stuff, right? Just telling you what I've done. Just telling you what I've done. Another thing is just look for opportunities to make more money and maximize them to the best of your ability. So kind of like when you notice a red car and it stands out to you, and then eventually you always see red cars. Let's say you always see red Corvettes, right? I believe that's what they call the confirmation bias. Apply that same thinking to just finding more ways to make money. Constantly look for more ways and opportunities to make more money. Even if that just means selling stuff, man. Getting rid of old stuff that you have in your house that you don't need, and maybe you need to make an extra quick buck to pay off some bills, pay off some debt, whatever. Just constantly look for ways to make more money. Apply that same level of thinking in your business and your career, but just constantly find ways to make more money, man. And the money isn't for women. It's not for women because they don't, by and large, they don't care about a man's money. I'll say this, they don't necessarily care about a man's money that they are attracted to. They are attracted to the ambition. They are attracted to the hustler mentality and spirit. They're not necessarily attracted to the dollar signs. They're not attracted to the digits in the online banking account. They don't really care about that. They'll use a simp's money. They'll use a dude who's at the bar and thinks he's hot shit because he's getting finessed by women who are just taking advantage of his offerings for free drinks. Yeah, that's when they care about money. But for the men that they're attracted to, they don't necessarily care about the money. Doesn't mean they want a broke dude either. Doesn't mean you have to be rich either. But they just want a man that can take care of himself and that he's ambitious and he's about his paper. They love that quality. They love that drive and that passion behind that man, more importantly, is what they're attracted to. But this isn't for women. This isn't to show off and try to impress people who don't care about us. This is, again, for you to have a high quality of life and, more importantly, to be in a state of abundance that will allow you to not be dependent or needy for anybody. Not that money alone will make you abundant, but it sure as hell will put you in a state of abundance, at least physically. But it will also put you in a state of abundance mentally, especially when you know you have the ability to make money. You have the ability to make money based on your knowledge and your skill set, independent of anybody else, because this is going to make you just simply not need anyone for anything. You're going to have an abundant mentality that you can then carry over into your interactions with women, into your dating life with women. Because I talk about on this channel quite a bit, a lot of the reasons why men struggle with women is because they're needy for them. They don't have anything else going on in their life because they haven't built themselves up to be a man of abundance, and they haven't built their life up to be in abundance, or they're not in the process. Even when you're in the process of building yourself and your life to be in abundance, you're still in abundance because that's how you're thinking. You're viewing things from an abundance lens. That's why you're building yourself up and your life to be abundant. So even if you haven't achieved full 100% abundance in your life, and maybe you never will, maybe that's one of those things that isn't possible, but you get what I'm saying, right? They will get to a point where you are content, you are satisfied, like, okay, I'm truly in abundant, I'm comfortable, I don't need anyone for anything. Even if you're not in that place yet, but you're in the process of that, that's still going to put you in a place of abundance, man. Because have you ever been in a situation where maybe you needed money for something really bad, and maybe that was going to require you to do a job that you didn't like, maybe watching someone's dogs or house sitting or driving Uber, or maybe you were going to apply to a job that you really didn't want, but you desperately needed the money, but then somehow, some way, a magical opportunity came out of nowhere and paid you the money that you wanted, or just something came up to where you were able to acquire the money that you needed, and you quickly went from a state of scarcity to abundance because you had that money, right? I'll just say this. So I'll give you guys a quick story of what I'm talking about. So back in late 2019, so like around August 2019 into basically the few months into 2020. So from, let's say, August 2019 to March 2020, I was driving one of my aunts around because she lost her license because she got a DUI a few times. So it's a long story, but I'll try to keep it short. She lost her license, and I just so happened to, around this time, I just quit my job at Target, stocking shelves overnight. I was living with my grandpa, so I wasn't paying rent at the time. And I was spending my time building up my high ticket affiliate marketing business. And I had some money saved up, so I was good on bills for a few months. And it just so happened that my aunt needed someone to drive her around to her different jobs and stuff like that. And she was only paying me like $500 a month max to do this, but she required a lot of driving. It was just a lot of time and driving that I had to invest in when it came to transporting her to different places. And I was in a state of scarcity, right? I was in a state of scarcity, especially when I had to dip in my savings to pay off bills and offset things because, I wasn't receiving enough money from her driving her around. So I had to dip into my savings to pay off some bills and stuff. So my money was drying low. I was in a state of scarcity. But once my high ticket affiliate marketing business started to kick off and I started to make sales, selling affiliate digital products and stuff like that, I quickly got in a state of abundance. I started making more money to where I was in a position where I was confident enough to where if I didn't want to drive her around, I wouldn't. I no longer felt like I needed to drive her around because I was building up abundance on my own. That's what I'm talking about. Like having those little feelings like that when you can make money on your own or find ways to make more money, and you're no longer in a state of scarcity, but you're in abundance, you basically don't need anybody for anything. And I'm not saying it, it's okay to accept help from people, but being in a state where you don't need, keyword need, anybody, you're not dependent on anybody, that mindset will carry over in your dating life. Because I've seen people who say, Jordan, I have all the things that you talk about as far as the abundance, but I'm still not being successful with women. It's because you're still doing something wrong up here. There's still something about you mentally, internally, that isn't aligned with maybe the abundance that you built physically. But I always say the abundance starts with you mentally, internally. So you may be in abundance physically, but you're not internally, you're not mentally, you're not coming off that way in your demeanor and the way that you communicate with them, the way that you act around them, right? Maybe the specific things that you say, the questions that you ask, you're not showcasing that you're in abundance. That's why you're screwing up. That's why the state of abundance that you may have going for you physically isn't working for you, because that's not how you feel internally. Remember, we talk about congruence with the external. That's not just your looks, but even your life, man. Even if you have a nice life setup and stuff, you may look like the man on paper. You may look like the man to everyone else physically. You may be the man on paper, but you're not the man in here. That's what matters the most. You're not the man in here. That's when you need to do that shadow work. That's when you need to improve your self-image. That's when you need to improve your self-esteem and your confidence. That's when you need to not allow and I've learned this stuff too. I'm still learning this stuff, man. That's why I'm saying this to you. I'm not saying this to preach at you, but to just let you know what I had learned throughout my life, what I'm still learning on a deeper and deeper level, is that you have to seek the abundance and the validation within yourself. Everyone else's validation, women attraction to you, how men treat you, all the positive treatment and all that stuff that we want should more so be the cherry on top, or the byproduct of the abundance that you built within yourself. Because the way that people treat you, men and women, is going to be a byproduct of how you treat yourself based on how you developed yourself as a man. And that's what a lot of people don't talk about. So even if you built yourself up to be an abundant man physically, whether that's your looks, your life setup, both, cool. But what about the abundance in here? What about the abundance on the inside? That's what I would encourage all men, including myself. This is something that you're going to have to constantly work on. I don't think that's something that never stops being worked on, just like how you can never know enough about fighting. It's the same thing when it comes to building up your positive self-image, and more so being in a state of abundance, right? Plus, at the end of the day, guys, you don't want to be a broke man who only has his looks going for him. And you hear like how a lot of good-looking men aren't successful financially because they're distracted by a bunch of women. So at least I've heard that. I don't know if you guys have heard that. And ever since I heard that, I made a vow to myself to not be one of those men, because I want to be successful in my eyes. I want to be taken care of and all that stuff too. So that's just another thing, is that you don't want to just have your looks going for you. You want to have more things in your life going for you, but definitely focus on making more money and just leveling up your finances overall, not for anyone else, not for women, not for men, not to show off to people, but for you, so that you can provide yourself with a higher quality of life and to be more in a state of abundance overall, because that will, again, carry in different aspects of your life. So that's number 3. Moving on to number 4 is focus on networking and improving your social skills. Here's the thing. In my personal opinion, I believe that a man that has his looks dialed in and is charismatic really has a whole world at his fingertips, man. That's why I tell you guys that you can't just get your looks dialed in and think that you don't have to work on your personality, and that you think people are just going to respect you and like you and want to be around you because you're a good looking man. Okay, cool. But if you're a shit person, if you treat people like shit, if you're not kind and respectful to everyone that you meet, irregardless of gender, irregardless of how they look, irregardless of social status and economic status and job positions and all that, if you don't know how to treat people well, if you don't know how to make people feel good when they're around you, if you don't know how to big people up and just simply make them feel better than when they first came across you, you know how they say, leave things better than you found it. If you can't apply that same level of thinking to people, people aren't going to mess with you regardless. Okay, dope. You got your looks dialed in. Okay, people notice you. Women notice you. They're attracted to you. Men notice you. They want to be friends with you. They want to kick it with you. At least maybe that's what they initially think when they look at you. If they're not, scarcity minded and they're inspired by you in some way, shape, or form, whether it's your fashion, it's your physique, whatever it is. But then once they get to know you, if you don't have that personality, if you're just a shit dude, you're not cool, you're not respectful, they're not going to mess with you, man. They're not going to mess with you. That's why not only should you dial in your looks so that, yes, you can start getting female attraction so you can improve your dating life. You can start networking with men who will respect you because you put actual work in the gym and they can visibly see that with your physique. Even then, you now have to dial in your personality. You have to develop your social skills. And this is going to be one of the most important things for men to dial in once they level up their looks. Especially in the digital age, man, it's even harder to improve your social skills and be someone that is just great at communication and that has social calibration. You know what I mean? So what I would suggest, man, is that once you dial in your looks, you got your body right, your fashion's right, your grooming's right, everything is dialed in to the best of your ability, to the best of your genetics. Okay, let's start to work on our social calibration and our communication skills. And my suggestion for this, to help you guys with this, is join extracurricular activities and hobbies that will surround you with other people. That's the only way that you're going to get better at communication skills, is by being around other people and talking to other people. You can watch videos like this that will help in the sense of providing you knowledge and value, at least that's my intent, and make you aware of the things that you need to do. But then it's not enough to just be aware of the things that you need to do. The next and most important step is applying the knowledge that you are now aware of, that you now have at your fingertips, that you can now apply and implement in your life. So examples of these extracurricular activities and hobbies are martial arts, fighting gyms, man. A lot of the friends and the guys that I kick it with now are the people that I met at my martial arts gym, man. And it's definitely helped me become more social and improve my communication skills, because I'm constantly around people every single day from different walks of life, men and women, and it's dope. And you'll actually meet the nicest and the coolest people at these martial art gyms, man. It's crazy. I've met the nicest people, dang near the nicest people on the planet at my fighting gym, man. It's crazy. And that's a common theme. That's a common theme. And I think a lot of it's just because we're being humbled. We're releasing a lot of tension and anger and stress in a productive way without hurting someone else, in the sense of you're not taking all your anger out on somebody when you're sparring. You're more so doing that on pads and a heavy bag. At least if you are a solid person with the ethics and you're not truly trying to hurt your training partners or your sparring partners, you're taking any anger or frustration or stress out on the heavy bags and pads and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. There's just a lot of dope people that you will meet in martial art gyms. Other places could be yoga. That's a good way to meet women, but you can go to yoga. Yoga is good. The reason why I recommend yoga is because, especially when you're fighting, it's going to help you become more mobile and just improve your flexibility. You can join recreational sports teams or leagues like soccer, basketball, volleyball. I know a lot of dudes are into volleyball. I didn't realize how, many dudes were into volleyball, but that's the thing. You'll be surrounded by women there too, with the volleyball leagues and stuff like that. Bowling leagues. I'm big into bowling. I love bowling. So bowling leagues, right? Whatever, like any type of recreational sports teams or leagues are going to put you around people and build camaraderie with those people. Since you guys are going to be playing on a team and have a objective that you guys are all trying to obtain, you're going to have a sense of camaraderie there. Cooking classes is another example. And then relevant networking events that will allow you to network with different people. But the reason why I say keyword relevant networking events is because you hear a lot of people saying, oh, you need to network more, you need to go to more networking events. The thing is, man, like, I don't believe just going to networking events and just talking to people randomly with no intent on your end, with no specific value that you can then provide to that person, and then vice versa for them to you. That doesn't make sense, just going to random networking events. Go to specific networking events that are relevant to whatever career field that you're in, whatever business that you're in, if you have a business, or whatever specific endeavor that you're trying to embark on, and further yourself in that endeavor. Go to those relevant specific networking events so that there is intent and a specific goal that you and someone else are trying to achieve. Then you guys can provide value to each other so you both can get what you want, right? It's going to be an equal value exchange. Sales is another great way to improve your social skills, and more specifically improve your social calibration, because you'll have to start to pick up more on people's body languages, their tonality, the way that they answer questions quickly or with hesitance, or with high confidence and high certainty, with low certainty, low confidence. You're going to pick up on all those little nuances over a period of time. And you're also going to be trained to think on your feet when it comes to overcoming objections that you weren't expecting to come at you, knowing how to close people, all that stuff. You're going to learn a lot from sales. That's actually another great way to improve your communication skills. And that's also what has helped me, because again, like, you're talking to many different people that come from many different walks of life, and you're picking up on so many nuances when it comes to communicating with people, that you're just going to be trained to just be a lot more socially calibrated and just be more of an effective communicator. And like I said earlier, man, doing Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specifically has just drastically improved my social skills. I've seen how doing sales and just being around more people, and even like through business, I've learned a lot when it comes to communicating with clients and stuff like that. I've seen how all these things as a collective has drastically improved my social skills, especially like with Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu. I made new friends. I made new connections. I'm constantly around a lot of people. Whereas before I joined Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu, I wasn't around that many people like that. Right? I wasn't around that many people like that, especially like people of different age groups, different walks of life and all that stuff, man. You just really can meet new people and surround yourself by different types of people and communicate with them and just improve your social skills naturally because you're around them, you're talking to them, you're sparring with them, you're training with them, you're drilling with them, you're just passing them by saying hello, you know what I mean? And simply put, by enrolling yourself into extracurricular activities and doing hobbies that will surround you by other people, you're naturally going to improve your social skills and your social calibration. So that's number 4, network and improve your social skills. And then lastly, number 5, man, get better with women. Get better with women. So once you're able to start attracting women to you based on your looks and your presentation, you now need to start developing more experience with them. So the best way to really do this, man, is start going on more dates and learning how to communicate with women. Or you don't even need to go on dates, but if you see women out in public, whether it's at a bar, a lounge, a coffee shop, in the store, heck, even if it's the cashier that's ringing you up at Walgreens or CVS, whatever, talk to women. Just get used to talking to women. It doesn't even have to be young, attractive women, right? If you are young yourself, or it doesn't have to necessarily be attractive women. Just talk to women in general. Because yes, now you have what I would say your marketing, right? You have your marketing down, which is your looks, your presentation. Now we need to focus on the sales aspect of things, which is your communication and your ability to close women, close them on dates, close them on a second date, being intimate with that girl, right? If you guys are both into each other and have high attraction for each other, you know what I'm saying? So the way to do this, at least the way to start doing this, is start gathering data on the type of women that are attracted to you, that treat you well, that you have the best time with, and give you the least amount of headache and stress. So I talked about this in one of my videos. I forget which video it was, but I said in that video that you want to have an ideal client when it comes to the type of women that you date, just like how business owners have an ideal client that they market and sell to on purpose because they know that specific client is going to be the easiest to acquire when it comes to marketing. It's going to be the easiest to close them. And they're going to make their business a lot more profitable. So therefore, they're going to go to the ideal client because that ideal client works for the business owner. You have to think the same way when it comes to dating. You are you. So you are the business owner, and the business that you are owner of is your dating life, right? And you can take that same principle and apply it to different aspects of your life. So with that being said, who is your ideal client when it comes to women? Who is the ideal woman or the type of women for you? And these are simply just going to be the women that are attracted to you and are checking for you the most. Notice how I'm talking about them being attracted to you and them checking for you. Because these are going to be the women that you will call your tribe. These are going to be your ideal clientele. These are going to be the women that work best for you. Because once you start to figure out which women are best for you, specifically for you, based on your data and your experience with dating, going on multiple dates with multiple women, right? You're going to start to see which women work for you, which women don't work for you, which type of women you vibe with, which type of women you don't. And you're going to notice as you start to collect experience and data that your dating life is going to drastically improve for the better. Because the problem that men run into as well when it comes to dating is that they're just dating these random women that don't mesh well with them, that aren't checking for them, that aren't that attracted to them, that they don't have good chemistry with. They don't know who their ideal clientele is when it comes to dating. You dig what I'm saying? So what I found is that the more you start to realize the type of women that work best for you, focus on those women. That's how you're going to be cutting out all the BS as much as possible. That's how you're going to be able to minimize your headaches, your stress, and the BS that can come from dating the wrong type of women. Right? That's how you're going to be able to cut all that out. And it's not necessarily that they're the wrong women because they're bad people or something like that. That could be the case. It's just that the wrong women, meaning women that aren't compatible with you. Not every woman is going to be compatible with you, but you want to focus on the women that are and pick up on the data based on your experiences and the common traits within women that you are finding that are attracted to you. What are those traits? What are the things about these women that you routinely and consistently see and the women that are attracted to you, if that makes sense. To give you an example, the women that I do the best with are women that are in fitness. They take care of themselves. They don't drink that much, if at all, and they don't smoke. They have positive, healthy habits. I've noticed that I do the best with those type of women. I noticed that I do the best with women that are white women, mixed women, Hispanic women. That's just personally what I've noticed for myself. Those would be like my tribe of women. Usually they're more on the leaner side, more like on the slim, thick side. Because I'm not that big. I'm pretty lean, but I'm not that big. I prefer brunettes with brown eyes, right? But that's more so a preference thing. But those are like my archetype. That's my tribe of women. That's how I know the type of women that work well for me based on my data and my experience. And I've had people ask me like, what are the best ways to meet women? Personally, for me, man, from my experience, have been dating apps. I just found that dating apps personally for me, and I would say for all men, once they know how to craft their dating app profile and optimize it to the best of their ability so that they can achieve success with dating, and they've leveled up their looks and their overall physical presentation so women are initially attracted to them and find them attractive to then want to send them a like and match with them, right? Once you level up yourself physically and you're able to optimize your dating app profile and optimize it for success, I find that dating apps are the most efficient ways of attracting women and will give you the most leverage, especially when women are not only coming to you by sending you likes and matching with you, but they're also messaging you first and showcasing their high interest in you. You will have people that say Instagram's the best dating app. Instagram's the biggest dating app in the world. On one end, I see where they're coming from, and you can attract women from Instagram. I've done it before, but my whole thing is that I personally don't like Instagram because it can be very distracting and you're having to consume a whole bunch of content from people and you're having to put out content too, which is fine. But there's just a whole bunch going on Instagram to where you're getting distracted and consuming all this information, all this content just for you to post on your story, to post on your news feed and then attract women from that. Which it works, but you also have to consume a bunch of people's content for you to then post your content and then have women come to you, slide in your DMs from your story or whatever. Whereas on dating apps, it's specifically just women that you see, you send a like to, they like you back, boom, you guys are matched with each other. But also when women get on dating apps, when men get on dating apps, everyone knows that the intent is to date. It's to match with people, is to qualify each other, to see if the vibe's there. The app is meant for dating. So you're not being around the bush like with an Instagram as far as like, oh, like people trying to slide in and shit like that, when the app isn't meant for dating. That's why I said like you have to beat around the bush, because Instagram, it's the biggest dating app as people say, but the intent isn't for dating, whereas dating apps are intentional for dating. So therefore you're not going to have to beat around the bush because we both know why we're on the app. You know what I mean? And then the other way that I meet girls is in person. I usually go to like chill bars or lounges. I don't do clubs or parties or anything like that. That's where I'll meet women. Usually women will either come up to me or they'll give me choosing signals. I'll approach if I find them attractive, or I've met women through extracurricular activities. So those are the two places that I meet women the most. And then what I would suggest that if you're just starting out with gaining experience with women, you don't know who your ideal clientele is when it comes to women. You don't know which type of women would be the best for you to date consistently. If you're like casually dating or you're trying to see which girl would be your girlfriend, if that's something that you're, looking for, which I wouldn't have the intent of looking for a girlfriend and like wanting a girlfriend because you're needy for a girlfriend. Date different women, see the type of women that work for you, and then start to see from the women that you're seeing, see which women you vibe with the most, that treats you the best, that has good energy, that is all about you. And then if things naturally take its course to where you guys get into a long-term relationship, well, it naturally took its course there, but the woman was into you. And preferably, and this is what I would suggest, is that the woman introduces the idea of you guys being together. Some people may not like hearing that, but that's the best route to go. You'll find that you'll have the most success when the woman brings up being exclusive, which if they're really into you, they will bring that up. They will bring that up. But I would suggest that if you're just starting out trying to gain experience with women and trying to figure out who your ideal clientele is, focus more on quantity dating. Do more volume of dating where maybe you are dating multiple women, you're seeing different women, you're going on multiple dates. That way you can start to collect data, gain experience by meeting different women, seeing which women you're into, which women you're not, which type of women are into you and treat you the best, that you vibe with the best. And as you level up as a man and you become more quality as a man, you can transcend from quantity dating to quality dating, where you focus on your specific tribe of women, your ideal clientele, and because you've leveled yourself up as a high quality man, you can demand that of other women. And when I say you can demand that of other women, I more so mean you can have the audacity to seek out high quality women because you are a high quality man first and foremost. And I'll talk more about this on the channel too, man. So those were the 5 things to focus on after you improve your looks, after you've done the looks maxing and you've dialed in your physique and you're practicing body game. Again, if you guys want help when it comes to leveling up your looks and becoming the most handsome and attractive version of yourself and start attracting women to you, then I would highly suggest that you check out the free IAB training that I will have linked down below in the description and the pinned comment. If you got a lot of value from this video, please give it a like, subscribe for more videos like this. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.